It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I had the privilege to interview the Navy's Associate Head Women's Lacrosse Coach, Coach Gabby Capuzzi Solomon. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you, Brandon?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to get started in coaching in college women's lacrosse?
I think since high school, going through the recruiting process myself, I always could see myself as a coach. I was very fortunate growing up to have a lot of impactful coaches throughout my youth, middle school, and high school careers, playing multiple different sports. So I always appreciated the impact those coaches made on me and my teammates. And that's kind of what inspired me to choose this career.
Of course, as a player, what was that experience like getting to play collegiate lacrosse for Ohio State?
Yeah, I loved my experience as a Buckeye lacrosse player. I would not trade those 4 years for anything. And the opportunity to compete at the highest level and in the American Lacrosse Conference before it became the Big Ten. But it was just really a special 4 years to play alongside my best friends.
How was that experience like getting to put on the Ohio State uniform and getting to represent the Buckeyes?
Ohio State Athletics is a very prestigious athletic department, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to play there. And just Ohio State will always have a special place in my heart. I really enjoyed my career there.
What were some of your biggest playing accomplishments throughout your collegiate time?
I was an All-American and first team All-Conference. So, honored and humbled to be named on those lists and, be named with some really incredible players during that time.
Of course, after your collegiate time, what was that experience like getting to go play professionally and going into the WPL?
Yeah, the WPLL was really awesome. I was a part of the first team that won the championship for the New England Command in 2018. And I think playing professionally is just really incredible for our sport, for the youth, and growing the game. So, really incredible experience being a part of that first championship team and playing with the best players in the world.
How was that feeling like getting to represent the New England Command and getting to put on that first professional jersey?
Yeah, that it was really special. It was at the USA lacrosse facility, and just a really special moment for the game, and for the sport, to grow and in front of my friends and family to win that championship.
How was that experience like for you getting to compete in the championship game in 2018?
Yeah, it was incredible. It was a great crowd and it was televised and really great for our sport and growing the game and just, something I will always treasure in my lacrosse memories.
During that time, what was that like also getting to represent Team Italy and going to the World Cup?
Yeah, that was a very unique experience of all my lacrosse experiences, and really incredible getting to go over to England, play in the World Cup as an Italian citizen. Just really special getting to compete against the best players in the world and also grow the game throughout the world, not just in my country.
How was that experience like getting to represent Italy and getting to put on that uniform representing that country?
Yeah, I really, really treasured that time. I spent 4 years training and going back and forth to Italy to train and meet my teammates. So finally getting to compete and put the jersey on was really, really special to me.
After your professional playing career ended, what was that experience like going to Ohio State, your alma mater, to become the associate head coach?
Yeah, it's always fun to go to back to where you're from and my alma mater and to give back to a program that gave me so much. So I really, really enjoyed my 3 years there with the Buckeyes and seeing the program develop.
What was that experience like for you being that offensive coordinator for the Buckeyes?
Yeah, that's how I started my career, and I've always been a midfielder and an offensive minded midi, so I really enjoyed coaching the attack my first 2 years.
What was that feeling like for you the first time you came in 2014 over to Navy and becoming the assistant coach?
It was an honor when Coach Tim Shaw called me for that opportunity in 2014. Just really special to be able to coach under Cindy and learn from her and spend those 6 years with her.
How was that experience like getting promoted in 2018 to become the associate head coach?
Yeah, that was definitely an honor, coming off of our 2017 season. Just always grateful to Cindy and our athletic director, Chet Gladchuck, for believing in me and continuing to empower me throughout my coaching career.
Of course, how important was that 2017 season for you?
The 2017 season was incredible and one of my most cherished coaching moments, to be the first ever female team from a service academy in any sport to go to the Final Four was just a tremendous accomplishment from our players, to play at Gillette Stadium, where the men's Final Four was also being held. Just really, really incredible experience for the players.
Of course, how was that feeling for you as a coach getting to go to the Final Four and getting to compete as a coach?
Yeah, I mean, it's every coach's dream to win a national championship, and unfortunately, we fell short. But just the overall experience, our players competed each round of the NCAA's, and it was really just incredible to watch them compete and achieve and accomplish their goals, and to put Navy lacrosse on the map.
Of course, after that experience, what was that short time like going back to your alma mater to become the associate head coach?
Yeah, that was, it was really great to go back to Ohio State, coming from Navy where I had success and, to go back to my alma mater and to give back to the program. It was a really great experience to be back, in our new lacrosse stadium, and, to see, a lot of familiar faces from when I was there before.
What was that experience like for you as an alma mater to get to coach in that new stadium?
Yeah, the stadium is really special. There's going to be a lot of great memories and accomplishments made in there. And, I was fortunate to have one season in that stadium. So it's really a special place. And if you ever get a chance, Brandon, I definitely would recommend checking it out.
Of course, what was that transitioning from going from Ohio State to coming back to Navy and becoming their associate head coach?
Yeah, it was definitely an easy transition, since I had already been at Navy previously for 6 years. It was easy to say yes to Coach Tim Shaw once again. And, I jumped right back into it. So I started recruiting a few weeks ago, and now we're preparing for the team to come back in 2 weeks, and jump right back into it, get training in the fall.
Can you talk about, of course, the culture that you've started to build and help to build for the Navy?
Yeah, I think the culture, I think back to that 2017 team and the players that started to build that culture of commitment, and just resiliency. And that's really, whether it's on the field, off the field, on the yard, in the military aspect, our players at Navy are really dedicated to their commitment to whatever task they're doing. And they just have shown resiliency all around, going to classes all day, then coming to practice, then going to military obligations. And that's the culture we want in our locker room and on the field every day too.
As a coach at Navy, what is that feeling like getting to step onto that field for the first time?
Yeah, it's really an honor being at Navy and getting to coach these females who are going to do bigger and better things and going to lead our country and represent our country. At the end of the day, I'm really the lucky one to get to coach them, and it is really an honor. They are going and doing big things, flying jets, helicopters, becoming Marines. And so there's more to it than just the lacrosse. And it's really, really special. And I feel very fortunate for the opportunity to coach them.
What is that feeling like for you to get to step onto that lacrosse field and getting to represent Navy?
Yeah. It's just really, really incredible opportunity. And, it's a unique experience, right? Because after their lacrosse careers, these players are going on to serve our country. And so I'm grateful that I can be a part of their 4-year experience. And I'm grateful, knowing we're in good hands with these leaders.
Who are some of the teams that you compete against in your conference?
Yeah, so we compete in the Patriot League. The Patriot League has teams like Army, Loyola, Lehigh, Boston University, and some others. But we're really excited to compete in the Patriot League and to always be competing for a Patriot League championship.
What is that experience like getting to compete against Lehigh and Boston?
Yeah, every game, is just as competitive as the next. So taking each game one game at a time, respecting the opponent. Lehigh and Boston are both very competitive teams in the Patriot League, and always show up to play. So really preparing our players, preparing with a scouting report, a practice plan for the week, and then with the game plan to put our best foot forward.
Of course, what is that game day atmosphere like when teams like Army come to your home facility?
Yeah, Brandon, our home facility is Navy Marine Corps Stadium, which is very, very awesome and special, and just a very electric vibe coming into that stadium. And so, competing at home is in front of the home crowd, right in downtown Annapolis is really great. And there's a lot of youth programs that will come to games, and a lot of alumni will come back. So it is really special, to have the fans for a rivalry game playing Army, which is always going to be a heightened, elevated, hyped up game. Um, but at the end of the day, it's another game, and we're just going to go to work on the field, and hopefully the fans enjoy everything going on around them.
Of course, for you, do you have any game day routines and rituals?
I like to wake up and go work out before I go to the facility to then get ready. So I like to get a good workout in, shower, get ready, and then go to work.
How have you been able to use your time playing professionally with your time at Ohio State?
Yeah, the professional leagues definitely give time so that you can still be committed to your full-time job. So that is nice. I know there's a lot of players playing in Athletes Unlimited right now who are coaches. So it is great that in our sport you can be a full-time coach and play professionally.
Of course, how has that time helped you in your coaching career?
Yeah, I've learned a lot from my playing career to bring to my coaching career. Playing against the best players in the world, you're always picking up things here and there to learn to take back to your team. So I think that's been like very valuable through my experiences.
What are some of the game day traditions that Navy has?
A lot of people have their individual focuses on game day and their rituals. Our team always will run out carrying the flag. So they'll run out of the tunnel carrying the flag, doing a lap around the field. We'll go through our game day warm up, and then our players will stand at attention for the national anthem, and then we'll do our cheer and hit the field.
What does that recruitment process look like for those prospective candidates looking to go to Navy?
Yeah, the recruitment process is definitely a thorough and unique one for a service academy. But at the end of the day, we're really looking for student athletes who are committed to, serving their country, and also competing at the highest level on the field. So finding those players at the summer tournaments, at camps, at showcases, finding people who are really bought into the Naval Academy and our Navy women's lacrosse mission.
What are some of the things that you look at in those prospective candidates when out on the road recruiting them?
Yeah. Well, I talked about our culture earlier of, commitment and resiliency. We really want to find those players who are committed to the entire package of being a Navy women's lacrosse player, and that who are resilient. So when faced with adversity, they're overcoming those challenges. They're strong, they're committed, they're fast, they're fearless.
What does a typical visit look like for a women's lacrosse player looking to come to Navy?
The visit will include kind of a mix of everything on campus. So you can get a look at the different buildings on campus, go to a class or see the classrooms, interact with different staff members of campus, and then get to come to a women's lacrosse practice or a training time, and get to interact with our players. We really want to make those visits feel like a typical day at Navy, and make our recruits feel very comfortable.
As an associate head coach, what is that feeling like getting to see those freshmen put on their first Navy uniform?
Yeah, getting through, plebe summer is a triumph for freshmen, and then finally coming to spring, getting to put on that jersey, is something they've really earned. They've worked hard for, and it's just the beginning of the journey, but it's really exciting and a special moment for them. And you put that jersey on, and the opportunities are endless.
How is that moment like different when they put it on for the last time as a senior and then afterwards put on their military uniform?
Yeah, Brandon, that's a great question. Yeah, it's, lacrosse does not last forever. These players are not going to play professionally, but they're going to serve our country. So, we hope that last time they put their jersey on is, winning a championship, and that they always cherish those memories in the jersey. And when they step into their military uniforms, that Navy women's lacrosse has a piece of them on those uniforms.
As a college coach at a service academy school like Navy, what is that feeling like seeing them go on into the military and representing the country after their playing career in college?
Yeah, I think that is truly the most rewarding part of my job is the accomplishments that these female leaders are going above and beyond after graduation, doing flyovers for the Super Bowl, flying these helicopters, being on submarines, really, really doing big things to serve our country, and far beyond the lacrosse field. And, I'm grateful for the opportunity to coach them. And I think that's just so rewarding, to see what they're doing now.
What are some of your future plans at Navy moving forward?
Well, we want to win a Patriot League championship. Our goal is, always to compete at the highest level for a Patriot League championship and then for an NCAA championship. So, those are big goals, for the spring. But I think in the short term, since I am new, it's going to be connecting with the team, building those relationships, getting to know the players, building that skill development, to build into the spring to compete, to beat Army, and compete for those championships.
What advice would you give those college freshmen entering their first year of collegiate lacrosse?
Yeah, you got to put in the work. You get out of it what you put in, and so that's showing up in your best shape, showing up strong, but also being mentally strong and finding ways to deal with adversity and get through those challenges because it's not going to be easy, but if you put everything in, it's going to be very rewarding in the end.
What advice would you give those college lacrosse players looking to go play professionally like Athletes Unlimited?
Yeah, I suggest everyone to take the chance, take the leap of faith, and if given the opportunity, to go for it. Lacrosse, we're not going to be able to play it forever as we get older. So if you have that opportunity to play and compete, do it, take it, and then you never know what can come from that.
What advice would you give those college athletes looking to get into college coaching like you have?
Yeah, I would say, start asking your questions to your coaches now and start shadowing them or finding time to meet with them or meet with other coaches in your athletic department, learning about the day to day and how this career works. There are a lot of behind the scenes. And so really doing your research and educating yourself and just talking to as many different people as you can.
What advice would you give those future college coaches looking to get started in coaching in college lacrosse?
Yeah, I would just say start networking, make those connections, whether it's at recruiting tournaments or coaches in your conference that you're playing against, start making those connections and building those relationships.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the Navy Women's Lacrosse app?
Yes, on Instagram and Twitter, I guess I'm at Gabby Capuzzi. And then on Instagram and Twitter for Navy, we are Navy W Lax.
Thank you again, Coach Gabby Capuzzi, for your interview and best luck in your future at Navy as the Associate Head Coach.
Thank you so much, Brandon. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you again, Coach Gabby Capuzzi, for your interview and best luck in your future.
Thanks, Brandon.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.